Hello everyone. Welcome to the 13th session of E-Content Development, Karnataka University, Dharwad. I am Suresh Metagar, Assistant Professor of English, Government First Grade College, Bhatkal. In this session, I would like to discuss about a small sonnet called Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. You know, P.B. Shelley is an important romantic poet of the 19th century, and he has written this poem called Ozymandias. Before going to study about this poem and about the writer, let us see why we should study this Ozymandias. What are the objectives of learning this poem? It enables the students to familiarize with poet and his works. Once we speak about writer, because in this session itself only I am going to speak about writer, students will be familiar with writer and his important works. It will help them to imagine and interpret the poem, and it also introduces background of the poem to the students, and it enables students to understand formal aspects of the poem and familiarizes students with different themes also. So, and outcomes definitely, as objectives, most of the objectives will be fulfilled, and outcomes will be students will be able to write or analyze or understand about writer and major works, and they will be able to understand and analyze the formal aspect of the poem, and even they will understand and analyze the language and the theme of the poem, and they will interpret different meanings on their own. So now let us see something about the writer. Percy Bysshe Shelley is an important romantic poet of 19th century, and he was born on 4th August 1792 in Sussex, and he was drowned on 8th July 1822. So he is considered as one of the major English romantic poets, and he was a radical thinker in poetry as well as in his political views, and he always wanted to bring changes in the life of the people, and he loved freedom, and he wanted to reform the society. He wanted to reform the political system of England. That's what he has presented in his poems also, and because of that, his radical views, he was not recognized when he was alive. His poetry and his name and fame grew only after his death, and he's known for mastery of genre and verse, and he's also known for complex interplay of skeptical, idealist and materialist ideas in his works. Harold Bloom calls him a great lyric writer. Nobody is there to rival him as a lyric writer. Let us see important works of Shelley. Shelley's important works always speak about the reforms and revolutionary ideas which he had in his mind. Ozymandias is an important poem which we are dealing now. It was written in 1818. Ozymandias speaks about transientiousness or temporariness of a name, fame and achievements. Then we have one more poem called Ode to the West Wind, which also speaks about reforms, revolutionary changes that he wanted to bring in the society. Then he has written a beautiful poem called To a Skylark, which speaks about a small bird called skylark, and he speaks about the beauty of this skylark and its voice, together with Ode to Nightingale by Keats. To a Skylark and Ode to Nightingale are beautiful poems of English literature. Then he has also written The Mask of Anarchy. The Mask of Anarchy also speaks about freedom of parliament and other things. He has written a verse drama called Sensi, Alastar, Spirit of Solitude, which is also speaks about his ideals, political ideas. Adonis is a long poem. Then he has written one more work called Prometheus Unbound. So now let us see the form of the poem. Ozymandias is a sonnet. Ozymandias is a sonnet. Sonnet means, sonnet means 14 line small lyric, and it is in iambic pentameter. Shakespearean sonnet rhyme scheme A B A B A C D C E D E F E F. Petrarchan sonnet structure means, he, as far as rhyme scheme is concerned, he models on Shakespearean sonnet, and as structure is concerned, he uses the Petrarchan sonnet. And as far as meter is concerned, almost iambic pentameter is used, but in some exceptions like a two vast stress after stress, two vast, it is there in the poem itself only. It's a slight spondy, means iambic meter means unstress followed by stress, but here two vast, both stress, that is spondy is used. In third line begins with the trochee, that is stress followed by unstress. Instead of iamb, that is unstress followed by stress, he uses stress followed by unstress. Even in line 10 and 11, Shelley breaks the meter. Now let us see the background of the poem Ozymandias. Shelley may have been inspired by the newspaper's reports that a British museum had acquired the large head of an Egyptian statue that later turned out to be of Ramses II, also known by his Greek name Ozymandias. So in those days, a British museum has acquired a statue of Ramses II, that is Ozymandias, and the news report were there, and probably Shelley had read that news report, and he has written this poem on the basis of that. Poem is there. I'm not going to read this poem now. Let me explain or give the summary of that poem. In this poem, a traveler tells the poet about two huge stone legs standing in the desert, and near them on the sand lies a damaged stone head. Here, a traveler, especially he calls from antique land, probably from Egypt, a traveler who meets a writer, and he tells a story about a ruined statue, that is a stone leg standing in the desert, and near them on the sand lies a damaged stone head. Half of the statue is somewhere else, and half of the statue is standing inside the sand. And he explains how the emotions and feelings are expressed by sculptor on the statue. The sculptor has brought emotions and feelings of the man whose statue has been sculpted, and we can see the sneer command and cold command and frown on the statue. On the pedestal are inscribed words called, "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, you mighty despair. Around the huge fragment stretches empty desert." Here, traveler tells story about this stone statue, ruined statue. Half of statue is lying somewhere else in the sand itself only, and other half of the statue, that is two legs, they are also standing in the desert itself only. But in the pedestal of that statue, there is an inscription called, "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, you mighty despair." And around that statue, nothing is there, only empty desert, long stretch of sand. It is an irony. It is an irony that the man who spoke about his achievements, his name, his fame, and he wanted to show that name, fame, and achievements to the whole world, and he was proud of his achievements, but no achievement is there, nothing is there before the act of nature. Nature has destroyed everything. Only sand is there. Only sand is there. Nothing else. So this is the meaning of poem. Now let us see artistic devices of the poem which are used in Ozymandias. Enjambment. Enjambment uh, uh, is used in the lines 2, 6 and 12. Enjambment is nothing but um, the moving of an idea to the next line. Most of the poems, every line completes a single idea. When that line idea is not completed and that idea is moved to the next line, that is enjambment, which is used in this poem. And allusion, Ozymandias. Allusion means reference to the known historical or any other figures or any other incidents or things. Ozymandias is a old Egyptian king, great king. So it is a reference to that old Egyptian king, is an allusion, use of allusion. And extended metaphor. Extended metaphor means it is a metaphor which is extended all over the poem. Desert means pall of all empires. Here, deserts are equated with empire in fallen empires. All the empires will fall, no achievements will remain, nothing will remain. He speaks about art can preserve, art can last longer than this achievements, political or any other achievements. So he has used vivid imagery also. When you hear the word of statues, Ozymandias pedestal and half sunk legs and that other half head, we have beautiful images that the picture comes to our mind when we hear or read those words. And irony is there at the end. Besides, nothing remains. Besides that statue, nothing remains. When that is described that he is the king of kings and he asks all the other people to see his achievements, but now nothing remains besides that statue, but only sand is there. So this poem speaks about transience. Transience means impermanence of achievements, or emptiness of pride, because that king was proud of his achievements, and that pride is empty because nothing is permanent in this world. And he also speaks about art can preserve those things. The sculptor who has sculpted that statue, he still has been able to hold the features of that king, but achievements of king are nowhere to see. And that's what a theme of this poem is: transitoriness of achievements and emptiness of pride and long-lasting capacity of art. So now let me conclude this session. In the poem Ozymandias, Shelley describes a crumbling statue as a way of portraying the impermanence of a political power and to praise the art's power of preserving the past. So that's what he has presented. We have some MCQs on the poem, that is multiple choice questions. Ozymandias' real name is Ramses II is the answer. Ozymandias is a sonnet in iambic tetrameter. Then what time of day is it? Actually, none of the who is telling the story of Ozymandias? It is the traveler. The statue abandonment symbolizes no man is an island, the eventual downfall of power, the loneliness that we all feel. It is the answer B, eventual downfall of all follower. The statue is abandoned means nothing remains permanent. So thank you.